Do your thoughts often go to the dark side of things, sometimes ruining your mood or maybe even your whole day? Are you tortured by past hurts, regrets, or guilt, and you just can't let go of these negative thoughts or feelings? Or perhaps you lash out at others later feeling sorry for what you did or for hurting them. So today, we're going to address some of these issues, and we're going to learn how to let go of these negative thoughts, feelings, hurts, regrets, and guilt so you can live a happier and more carefree life. Because life is short, and you're here to enjoy it. This is the Coach That Cares, Laura Graziano, and creator of Personal Best Coaching and programs to help you heal, grow, and flourish to your full potential in life. So let's get started with making a happier life by letting go of these negative thoughts. Honestly, our negative thoughts lead us to negative feelings, and our negative feelings lead us to those negative behavior patterns. So what we really need to do is break the cycle. It's a cycle that it's become ingrained in us, and it takes some practice, but we can do it, and I'm going to give you some tips today. And the first step that we're going to take is understanding why we have some of these negative thoughts and feelings and guilt and regret and all these complicated things that hold us back from being the beautiful, amazing person that you're meant to be and realizing the most joy. So the first thing we can do is learn why we feel that way. And part of it is science. And it's not your fault. It's part of our chemical makeup as human beings, and it kind of goes back to those prehistoric days when we were cavemen and cavewomen, and we were being chased by predators. We had real predators out there, and our natural instincts tell us to protect ourselves. And we're built to be on the defensive mode. So that creates a mindset within us that's a natural mindset to have that negative mindset and to be on the alert for danger. And that creates a defensiveness. So it's ingrained in our thinking, and some of us more than others. Some of us have learned to let some of that go just through the world that we live in today, but others still live with that high amount of negative mindset, that defensive mindset, so we constantly feel like we're being under attack. And how does that come out? That comes out in how we relate to people, our negative thoughts, and that negative self-talk that we might think that people are out to get us, or not looking for our best interest, and sometimes that's not true. So part of it's your chemical makeup, and that means that you can recognize that, and you can also change it. So that leads to the second step. Once you understand the why, then it becomes a matter of accepting that I understand why I'm having these negative thoughts. Someone may have hurt me, I may have done something I'm sorry for, whatever it is, but now I understand why I may have been led to this, and now I have to learn to accept. So this is where you are now. Whatever happened yesterday, a year before, 10 years before, you might keep replaying this in your head, but you're not going to change it. So you can't do anything about what's happened in the past, but you can do something about what happens from this moment on. And that has to become a conscious decision of yours, that you are not going to allow this negative self-talk or this guilt or whatever it is that's torturing you, to separate you from the happiness that you deserve moving forward. So how do we do this? Once we accept where we are and that we can't change the past, let's think constructively about changing our future and the trajectory of where we're going. So keep looking towards the light, towards where you're going next, and away from the dark. And that brings us to the third step of using mindfulness. Mindfulness is a great, great tool because it helps us to become aware of our thoughts when we're having a negative thought and also when we're having a positive thought. But mindfulness can help us to identify those thoughts when they pop up in our heads, to break the cycle of that negative thought leading to a negative feeling and a negative behavior. So when we observe that negative thought, we look at it and we recognize it. Oh, I'm having that negative thought again. I'm thinking about, what happened, so-and-so did this to me, last year. And oh, I'm having that again. And I understand why I'm having it, because this is part of my chemical makeup as a human, that I tend to be defensive and I'm going to the dark side. So now I recognize that, I accept it for what it is, and I don't give it power over me. I decide not to give that power to torture me anymore. And I strongly recommend that you keep a mindfulness journal. So when these negative thoughts pop up in your head, you can write them down. And then that will help you to lead to more positive outcomes. So be mindful of your thoughts. And when a negative thought comes in, observe it and do not give it any power. And then that brings us to step 4, which is releasing this negative thought, letting it go. And how do we let it go? Well, it all starts with the act of forgiveness. And that means forgiving ourselves and forgiving all those who we feel have hurt us in some way. And the more we begin that act of forgiveness in our lives, every step we will free our hearts, our souls, and our minds and our lives to act in a more intentional, happy manner for our future. So let's start with forgiving ourselves, the most important person in your life, you. We all are human beings and we all make mistakes. That's part of being human. But the idea is to understand that your mistakes do not define you, that you are a good, kind person, and that whatever you did in the past, that does not define your future, that you deserve to be happy. You're a good person. You may be sorry for some things that you said or did, but accept that as part of the human experience, that everyone makes mistakes, including you. You're not perfect. None of us are perfect. We strive to be better in life, but we'll never be perfect. So accept that you are going to make mistakes, and you're here to forgive yourself, not to constantly relive painful situations that make you the victim all the time. Decide that you are going to be the victor in your life, and tell yourself, I want this for you to say this to yourself. If you can, look in a mirror, because that's very powerful. When you recite these affirmations to yourself, the more you do it every day, or when every negative thought comes in, the more you will actually believe it and internalize it in your life. So close your eyes for a moment and say this to yourself, and then I'd like you to do it in front of the mirror. Say, I forgive myself for whatever I have done wrong. I am human. I make mistakes like everyone else, but my past does not define my future. I am a good person. I have the power to do good in the world, and I deserve to be happy. I am happy with myself. Say that every day, sometimes more than once a day, or when every negative thought comes in. Forgive yourself for whatever you have done wrong. Forgive yourself and decide that you deserve to be happy. Now, forgiving others. You may be replaying these same hurts. It's almost like a movie that you're watching over and over again in your mind, and maybe you have regrets. I should have done this. If I did that, then maybe my life would have taken this turn instead of that turn, and maybe I wouldn't be where I am now. But this is where you are now, and every time you replay that negative thought, it allows whoever hurt you, it gives them power over you again, and you become the victim again. And you need to be the victor in your life. You're the hero in your own life. So decide, I am going to forgive this person for whatever they did that I felt they hurt me or they wronged me. I am going to forgive them, not for them, but for myself. I deserve to be happy. I am not going to give them the power over me anymore to hurt me. It stops now. I choose happiness, and I choose to not let this torture me and not let this hurt define my future. So say that to yourself. Say it in the mirror. Say it like you're saying it to whoever it is offended you, as if you're reciting it to them. And decide that you will not let that victimization continue. And now that leads us to the last step, is replacing those negative thoughts now. Now that we're releasing them, we've let them go. Now we need to replace them with that positive energy. So the negative thought now, once it's gone, let's put something there in its place that can bring us good, happy, cheerful, useful, valuable, self-affirming statements. So how do we do that? You know, maybe it doesn't happen overnight. We have to practice this process. But I like to recommend that you keep a happiness journal. Just as we have a mindfulness journal to observe our thoughts, negative and positive, let's also observe our happy moments. Think back to yourself. What are the things you enjoy most in life? And think about things that really make you smile. You know, maybe it's watching your children sleep at night. They look like little angels no matter what they did all day. They look like little angels when they're sleeping. But think about the simple things in life. Perhaps it's a walk outside on a nice day and feeling the sun on your face and the wind in your hair, observing nature around you, listening to the birds, tweeting. Whatever it is that brings you joy, write these down in your happiness journal and write down those happy moments that you shared with the people around you. And this is your place that you come to then. Read this often, go through it often, so that when these negative thoughts surface again, you can then take from your happiness journal automatically because they're cataloged up here. You remember the things that bring you the most happiness, and you can replace now those negative feelings with those happy, good ones. So I hope some of this helped you today to let go of all that negativity so you can finally live the happy, joyful, and fulfilling life that you were meant to live. Again, this is the Coach That Cares. If this video helped you and if it spoke to you, please like and subscribe to my channel so I can bring you more happy moments. And if you have any other things that you would like me to cover in future videos, please drop them in the comments because I'd love to help you in any way I can with a future message and some tips to really help you to lead a more fulfilling and joyful life. Thanks for being here and good luck on your journey. Take care.